broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akram. Now, let the buzz begin!
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Downton Abbey. This is series season 5, episode 8, the finale episode. I'm John Comerford, joined in the studio by Alina Akram.
Hi everyone.
Courtney Stewart.
Hello.
And Tamara Berg.
Hello, people.
Well, again, as always, we have a lot to go over.
Yes,
We've got the Lord Grantham finally putting it together about who Marigold is, which is nice. What about the prince professes his love and wants to run away with Violet?
No.
We have Denker leading Andy astray. Daisy tendering her resignation. But I want to start off with what we got to with the wedding and the whole shenanigans before and after.
The shenanigans.
I thought, first of all, we had the little fashion show with everybody, Rose and her gal pals. I thought that was kind of fun. That was the first
adorable.
time. Yeah, to have all the women there.
Yeah.
I know. It was,
It's like, you don't really have all that. I mean, we don't usually see that.
It was kind of, say yes to the dress.
Yes.
Down
Yes.
Help me, I
Which
know
you
what
don't know what that
is,
means,
so-
I'm sure.
Okay.
But, all the ladies sitting around and she does her twirl and she gets applause.
That's what I like. I
was
love the
cute.
golf
I like
clap.
that.
It was cute.
Yeah,
Loved
it was nice.
It was adorable.
It was good.
What was with the non-traditional wedding though? Or there
Well,
wasn't really a
because-
wedding, was it because it was
No.
rushed?
Yeah, well, that, and I think because of the scandal about
Just the
the-
difference of their
The
religion.
religion.
Right, yeah.
They didn't want
It's
to be
a
in the
dual
church
thing,
or the
and
synagogue.
It was going to be a challenge no matter what they did. So it was
Yeah.
probably this was their best bet of having it done without having too many ripples in the water, shall we say?
That's a good plan.
Fans are saying, I've just forgotten her name. The gal who
Lady Rose?
plays Rose is promoting Cinderella, and so one of the fans I wrote today. They go, yeah, they just got her married off quick so that they wouldn't have to kill her before the end of the season.
Very practical.
Yeah,
Yes, it's very
we
practical.
don't want Rose
Quite
dying.
well. No, we don't need that. No.
All right. So, but then of course we head all over to London to the Grantham house, and that's where we get to learn. We get to see Susan again, Lady Flincher.
Goodness.
Oh my gosh, she is a pill.
Her voice alone is hard to swallow. I mean, I can't even impersonate it at the moment because it's so grating that I don't even want to listen to it. And then everything she says, everything that comes out of her mouth is horrid.
Terrible.
And then just another side note: Google the actress because she's quite lovely, actually.
I'm sure
People
she
talk
is.
about how she's a very good actress because she's so awful on the show.
Yeah.
And when
God.
you see her actually smiling and waving at people, you go, oh. It's sort of like, what's her name? Who left last season?
I know exactly who you're
O'Brien.
talking about.
O'Brien.
O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody, absolutely, sure.
When you
But,
see them
okay.
in their modern
So
stuff.
the first thing, she says, they come in, they don't have any attendance. Carson makes a mention, and she
Yes.
says, we don't have to tell everybody. And
We
then, of
don't need
course,
to announce.
and then she absolutely will not share a room with Shrimpy. That starts
Right?
everything. And from there, and then it just gets worse. Because, and then the awkward hello between Rose and her mother. I mean, is there any other word?
No, it was just
Oh, it's
weird.
No, it was
man, that
terrible.
room was huge, and it just seemed like there was a whole chasm between them.
Ice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and just
too.
sad because Rose is such a sweet, endearing,
Yeah.
She has
young
become
thing.
that for sure, yes.
Yeah,
Especially this
and
season.
especially since she's gotten away
Right.
from her shrew of a mother. And so
Her name is not. It should be Shruzen.
Shruzen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
that would be
like it,
good.
John. I
So
like it.
and of course, what she professes, at least to Rose, is that, do you love him? And well, then that's all I need to hear.
Right.
And I
It's like-
thought.
yeah.
Me
I was
too.
believing it.
You
I was
believed
like-
it?
I was like, oh, wow, really? Great. Okay, we're going to be fine. Just kidding. No.
So,
I
Alina, you
believed
bought
it
it too.
for a split second too, because
Wow.
I was like, all right, whatever, they're gonna get this wedding over with. This is not the main storyline.
Yeah.
Mr. Cynical, you didn't believe
No,
it?
well,
Not for a second?
no, but that's why as soon as I saw that, the pictures being taken of,
You knew it
yeah,
was
I
her.
went, that it's her,
Atticus.
yeah, and then they kept pushing so hard that it was Lord Cinderby that I went,
There's
it's
no way.
definitely,
Yeah.
When the picture did get
Like,
taken, I
yeah.
thought it was definitely mom. But I just,
And also because of what Violet said. She said love is a much more dangerous motive than dislike.
Yes.
And then, because if you go back and what she says, that's do you love him? That's all I need to hear. And then later on, what she says to Rose is, Susan says, everything I did or said was from love.
Out of love.
Yes.
And they have different definitions. So that to me was the nice arc of that particular storyline.
Yeah.
But it was horrible. But let's go through some of the horrible things she said, shall we?
Shall we? Starting with dinner. I always think of you people as nomads.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Did you not learn anything from Ross Perot?
No.
Does anybody even know that reference?
Yeah,
Especially not the
way
Brits,
back.
they won't,
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
but yeah.
Good pull,
I mean,
Tammy. I don't think anybody's gonna get that. But
Yeah. You're welcome.
Well, I mean,
All
she opened. She's meeting Atticus for the first time. That's a peculiar name.
Yeah.
And just
I
walks
know.
off.
I mean, just ruder than rude constantly. She must have like a slip disc in her back or something that just makes her cranky all the time.
Yeah, maybe there's some brainwave activity that's not working or something.
Yeah,
like,
maybe she has an ear
That's what it's
infection.
not working.
Yeah, all right. So,
Ear infection.
she wants to know if they have an inner infection. She should. Okay, well, she wants to know if they have English blood. I loved how the Crawleys were deflecting everything.
Yeah.
Like, everybody,
Yeah.
every time a bomb was launched in the middle of the table, somebody's like, bang, 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 and
Great
so
game
move
of
on to something
volleyball,
else.
yeah.
I understand you're honeymooning someplace.
Oh yes, well, then. Yes.
I think
Really,
they were
love that
prepared.
hotel.
And that to me was like one of the first times that the Crawleys were deflecting everything rather than inflicting
thinking
everything.
on somebody else. Exactly.
Yeah,
They were really
indeed.
trying to be there for Rose and
That was
having it be
good.
her
Yeah.
They've embraced her fully.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
it.
nice. What else do we have? Oh, but we did learn, of course, we knew already that Lord Centerby is not really in favor of this as well. And what does he think of
know.
divorce?
Oh,
Oh,
he was
right.
very clear about that.
Yes.
It's weakness, it's a scandal, it's failure.
Degradation.
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 And then I just love the looks of everybody's faces as he's saying all that. It's like,
They were like, oh,
oh,
shit.
talk about a ticking time bomb. When is this going to come out? So,
Oh, and Susan, do you find it hard to get staff?
No, we pay them well because
we're
we're
Jewish.
Jewish. I loved it.
loved it. I
His
thought
mom
she-
is great.
wasn't
Yeah.
she fabulous this
Yes,
episode?
she was
Susie,
great.
our new favorite.
Yes.
She's
Yes.
just
God.
she's saucy. She's in the right.
Yeah.
And she's fantastic.
Oh, and the way she handled Susan, of course, finally decided since the stag. Let's talk stag party
Yeah,
before we get
okay.
Okay, so I thought it was first of all I go okay, I don't believe the stag party because he's leaving early.
right.
When that never happens, he's drunk before he can ever leave early.
He's really in love, and he
I
wants to get
know.
his rest.
He's a
before his big
gentleman,
day.
John.
Yeah. Okay. I just
It's not the debauchery we're accustomed to.
I've
They
just
just
never
wanted
been to a
few more
stag party
drinks.
where the groom is left early.
Left early. True.
Except my own.
I've never been.
Okay,
to one.
so now were you taken aback by the elevator, a little accosting of the
Yes.
elevator,
Yes.
like a
Well,
tart?
we had a little tip off about that last week
Right.
because they showed us the pictures of a tart being in his room
In
with
his
his shirt
room,
off. But
yeah.
we didn't fall for it as
No.
being anything serious. But yeah, she was obviously on the make and looking to.
But I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression.
Well,
I went,
he-
whoa, what was that? How did you do that? I didn't see
He
that
gave
part.
her a nod.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
when he
I
stood
saw
up and
that.
she was at the bar,
That
he
was
did
it?
give up. Because at first I was like, when,
Okay.
like you guys said, I'm like, oh, he's not going to do anything. No, but then when he nodded at her, I was like, wait a
Yes.
second now, are you shady? And he gave her
That
the
was it.
attention.
That was
I
an
can't
impression.
believe you couldn't read the nod.
I didn't. I'm sure I was writing something.
He
this
did.
time.
They had that like eye. He made eye
Okay.
contact.
Definite
in
eye
that
contact.
I'll buy
dirty
that.
way, John. In the dirty way.
That dirty way.
That dirty
And
way.
he's just exuding charm rather all
Yes.
the time.
Yes.
So any
Was
woman's
he
gonna
even
think
charming when he rebuffed her.
he
So
was.
sorry. And,
He was.
He was very nice about it.
and even upstairs in the room when she came in, and that was kind of. I just love the. Oh, I'll be just a second.
Second.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I was so
That
confused.
was very
first.
skillful.
Yeah, no.
All right. Don't
Yeah, all
worry.
right. Whoa, hello. For those who aren't watching and just
And
listening.
just that quick, it's over.
And what do you know?
And you got pictures.
Yeah, but I the best part for me was when she was leaving, and she smiled. At
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she was not.
She
a
knew
lady
she was
in-
being. Yeah,
she
knew
was
the
an
pi-
actress.
Exactly. She knew the pictures were being taken. It was perfect. And I was like, okay, this is not gonna go well.
Yeah.
All right, so that quickly gets out. But okay, before we get to when Rose actually gets that, one of my favorite moments was when Mary's inviting everybody out to lunch.
Oh.
Hey, Edith, you can go too.
Okay,
even
Edith.
you,
Even
Edith.
you.
It
Terrible.
was horrible.
Terrible.
It was horrible. But then her
But
comment
kinda
later,
great.
it was kind of good. But her comment later to Tom was that, look, if everybody leaves here and then you read in the paper that I'm up for murder. Right? I'm going to blame you.
I'm going to blame you that I killed Edith.
Exactly. All right. So they actually have the lunch, and that's when Rose gets to see the
pictures of the tart.
Yes,
Those got
actually, the
developed very
lurid pictures.
quickly.
I know. I thought that was very.
Doesn't it take longer than back then?
It's like very. But we can only surmise that Susan has some sort of developer on the side who can do things in a 24-hour photomat kind of way.
Yes.
I thought. Did anybody catch when she had a check in that letter? Okay. Did anybody
The
buy
second
that?
time I watched it, yeah.
That's why I thought it was her. I didn't ever
Yeah.
think it was Ellery with the pictures because I was like, oh, she sent a check out.
Yeah.
That was
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. When when she was trying to post the mail thing, and she happened to mention that I hate to send something out and say the check's in the mail, and I went, what is she paying off? So,
Scandalous.
yeah.
I love that Tom put 2 and 2 together, and he's like, or this could be somebody setting him up.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
totally appreciate it because the girls would have like, oh my god, I can't believe that, and he was like the voice of reason. Like,
He was
go
great
there
in that
immediately.
moment.
Like,
You go call him. All
Go
that.
talk
He was
to him,
terrific.
and-
Well,
Exactly.
he was very, Lord of the Manor kind of.
Yeah, he was. He
Just
really
taking
stepped
care
up.
of the girls.
And in this particular episode, they really came across, and we'll talk about Tom later, about how he really is their brother.
that's why
Yes.
he's not
Yeah.
going
Really
to
being a
America.
protector. Yeah.
right?
I forbid it.
We all do.
Okay, going. All right, Courtney's putting her foot down on that one.
Take
All right,
that,
what else do we have?
Julie.
So we saw the check, and then of course we're at what is it? The second dinner?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
right with the
The awkward dinner.
At the
God.
Cinderby's
Cinderby's house.
Yeah.
all of their
Yes.
family.
Oh my
I don't know,
God.
does everybody notice that we are drinking?
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Downton Abbey wine is
We're
is
so
Courtney
present.
and I
jolly
are
right
drinking
now.
Downton
That
Abbey
side
wine.
of the panel,
Yeah.
we're clear-headed and
Yes,
cogent,
you are.
and thoughtful.
I'm more clear-headed
Yeah.
when I drink from Downton.
But I also liked
Exactly.
before the dinner we had Atticus confronting his father.
Yes.
Yes.
And he actually comes up, gets so excited he calls Rose a shiksa.
Yes, he did. I
And
like him.
Yeah, and Atticus coming right back
Yeah.
at Dad saying,
Do
not call her
not.
that. That was a nice little exchange. We
Yeah.
haven't really seen them, father and son, and that was really interesting and different from the way we see Lord Grantham with his kids. Of course, he doesn't have any sons, but that is different. So I thought that was a fun
I
little
love
thing.
that dynamic. It was
Atticus
lovely to see
is
that.
so likable. I just
Yes.
love him.
He really
From the
is.
first moment
Yeah.
they put him on the show.
But I didn't even dislike the dad. Like I love
Yes.
because I bought into. He
Yeah.
was just so good because I really was like, he's right. They're not going to be Jewish, and they work so
Yeah,
hard. And like, he's
exactly,
not trying
yeah.
to say she's awful, but he just wants to pass that on to his family.
And he
I
immediately
totally
apologizes.
agree.
Yeah.
He immediately apologizes for the shiksa thing, and he even says right there she's a
Yeah.
decent person, all that other stuff. And then it's really about the children. And then I love the way he launched into Atticus. Look, you've had it so easy. You don't understand. You have no,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is
The
a
fight that they've
that
been
same
through.
argument happens today.
Exactly.
In the intergenerational arguments.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was a great little thing going on there. And,
No,
and wonderful that they cut it and
Yeah.
then moved on.
Yeah, his reasoning versus Susan, who's
Yeah.
just
Right,
spiteful
exactly.
and
Yeah, yeah.
bitter. And-
She pretends that it's about
She think-
the trouble that they
No.
get, but she's more she's more upset by the fact that it's going to cause even more scandal. And we have no position, we have no money, and
And
this
now
too.
she's going to be an outcast.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Selfish.
I'm a failure three
No,
times.
but I really agree about Lord Cinderby being so personable and admirable,
Right.
Because he's coming from this place of just wanting to protect and continue
And
his
he
legacy.
has the context of the history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
So yeah, and by the way, I've said it a million times. I'll listen to that guy because his voice is amazing.
He's so
I love it every
good.
time they give him something to
Yeah.
play. It's just so resonant and has such gravitas. It's like I'm believing everything.
And he's just so grounded, like as
Yeah.
actor. Like he just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I totally got
Yeah.
sucked in.
I'm really hoping that that we get more of him next.
Yeah, well, they
I would
kind of
like
hinted
that.
at that because they've invited them
Right.
to
Yes.
stay. Now, I don't
To
know if that'll be
grouse.
part of the Christmas special or something else, but
Right.
I would imagine,
I vote
one would
yes.
hope. They're great because, and we've talked about this, but let's go to, I'm jumping around. Let's go to the dinner.
Okay.
Because that's where we had another bit
More
of fun.
entertaining.
more awkwardness.
Yeah. So, what did you find most interesting about this?
Which the dinner?
I'm trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
dig
yeah.
out where my notes
Where
are
are
from
we?
that.
No, that's okay. Well, then let me talk about this. Let's move on from that.
Okay.
Because one of the things I wanted to talk about was that Mary tells Shrimpy about the whole shenanigans with the photos and the
Yes.
setup.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just side note. I thought it was really interesting that they were very free with.
Oh,
that
I know, they were so
information.
open about it.
Everybody
It was very
knew. They
sharing.
told
Yeah, it was
Grandma.
like,
They told
whoa.
Shrimpy. They told everybody. which-
Everybody's in the know.
Yeah,
And
thought
usually
that
they're much more tight-lipped
I love
about
doing
it.
everything.
Yeah, that is
which is either silly or they just really believed it was
They
a
believed
setup.
it was a
Yeah.
setup
Yeah.
from
So-
the beginning.
Yeah.
But I thought it was that even grandmother knew.
Yeah, to bring
Go
her
ahead,
into
go
that.
with
Yeah.
what
But
you
okay,
were
so
saying.
Mary tells Shrimpy, and Shrimpy immediately knows.
Yes.
Everybody is still clueless, not sure,
Like,
guessing.
who would have done this?
Shrimpy is so right on the money with it.
And that was another
Uh,
scene.
what a way to handle it.
Oh my
When
god!
they got together, that was
Yeah.
great too.
Yeah, he even has the checkbook. That's the proof. I mean, he's got it all
Yes.
prosecuted out.
Yeah, and she was just so ready to stand her ground.
Oh yeah, and making a good game of it because you go, oh please, and then I,
don't
love
know
his
what you're
line.
talking about.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Get down, you cat.
I was
it's
trying
okay.
to find my quote. I
Get
love
down,
that.
you
She
cat.
grabbed her
Get down,
arm.
you
That was
cat.
amazing.
Cat wasn't the word I was looking at, but it was a
Cat
very
was the
effective
It
word.
was very interesting. A great choice.
Yeah,
She was
get
just
down,
the
you cat.
scowling trash.
And then the threat of telling Rose, and that really seemed to have an effect on her.
Yes.
Right, because she
Apparently not
portrays herself to
Yeah.
Rose as, darling, I just want what you want. I just want the best for you. And, I mean, the best for you, maybe, that is part of her motivation. But the idea that, she keeps a good relationship with her daughter in some ways, or
Right.
at least she hopes that her daughter holds her as, something to be revered. But yeah.
Right. Well, even because let's put it bluntly, if there was a rift between mother and daughter, even that would get out, and that'd be
Yeah,
another reason for her
problem.
Yeah.
to. Yeah, okay. All right. So he knows that, and even despite the threat that Shrimpy might tell Rose at the registry before it all goes down,
know.
Susan feels like she has to say something
Oh, good
because they need to
Lord.
know before this. I love Violet trying to intervene. Let's not ruin her day.
But did you notice how? Okay, so Cora is the one that Grantham sends. He's like, "Go help Susan. What's going on?" And then somehow Cora still ends up in the back, like, and Violet is the one that attacks. I was like, "Didn't you get sent to say something?"
Exactly.
I wonder. I'm like, do you get upset, Elizabeth, that
Yeah.
you always get just
Like,
You
pushed to
pushed
the
to the side.
and everybody else gets the great things? But anyway,
Well, it's
I found
the
that
deathbed
amusing.
confessions. We
Yes.
don't need any deathbed confessions, darling.
Yeah,
It's
good
not
line.
about you today.
But she says it anyway, and it's just scandalous. And Lord Cinderby's what? And he's outraged.
What do you
and, yeah.
mean you're having a divorce?
And Mama's going to be shut it down
This is one of
Yes.
the best
That
moments
was
of this, man.
great.
It was.
in front of everybody.
Yeah,
I will
exactly.
leave you.
Talk about a
Scandal.
scandal.
Exactly.
I'll give you scandal, mister.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was so powerful that it was hard to notice it. But I don't know if you looked at Atticus's
Yes.
face when
Yeah,
she did
he
that. That
was
was
like,
great.
Gratitude.
Yeah, that was good. That was
Thank
really
you.
good.
You're
I
the
was hoping they
best.
would cut to Rose just to see what that was
Yeah.
like to have her mother-in-law come to the defense of the marriage and all that. I thought that would have been interesting too.
Well, yeah, and it's sort of like what we didn't get with the dinner last week.
Right, exactly. With
the
somebody
Merton-
standing up for
Merton's
Isabel.
kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, because we like the downtrodden to be defended.
Yes,
in the show.
exactly,
Love
exactly.
that.
You want those moments. My God, that's right. You're almost cheering.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, what happened after that? Where did we go to? We were,
We go to the wedding, don't we? The
Reception.
oh, but we have that beautiful moment with Rose and Dad
her
in the
dad.
stairwell.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
When he's, oh my God, that was just great. And, she tells him, of course, that it wasn't Atticus, and of course he knows, but he doesn't. He's not telling yet because he doesn't know that she's given it up. That Susan's given up the word divorce in the
Yes.
registry. So, but that was such a nice, tender moment between father and daughter. The one that you hope daughters have before they have, Am I
Because
right?
he was talking about the
Yes.
world, like, not turning out how any of us expect anyway.
Yeah.
Because she was like, you don't expect, I didn't think you would think I'd be doing it this way.
Yeah.
And he was like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shrimpy's so sweet.
Yeah, he's
He
terrific.
is.
He's
Sweet guy.
terrific. And
And-
you need that to, at least compensate for mom being such
Mom
a
is
shrew.
a demon.
Telling you she has a slip disc. She used to be nice.
That's good. Okay.
But Rose asks, "Who was my enemy?" It appears Dad. Who was my
Yeah,
enemy? And
yeah.
he says, "Oh,
No.
you don't know
Know
him."
him.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
So
She
he
doesn't-
really-
even he's got gallantry there
Yep.
because he doesn't want to give up mom.
I think he doesn't want to hurt Rose.
Yeah, especially right
of
now. Why
course.
tell her now
Yeah.
anyway? But it
Of
was just
course.
it was such a great, perfect. It's one of those classic Downton moments. I love those moments
Yeah.
when they have those. Okay.
Fantastic.
And it was pretty. The setting was pretty. That
and the
stairwell,
and
woodwork
she- and the,
around
you know,
it.
Her
looking
nice
up, and
little hat
even the
on.
way it was choreographed, and the fact that she's up on the step, he's below. I mean, it just was perfect.
yeah.
It just looked great,
Yeah.
and it was well staged. No, but at the ceremony, I thought was great because right after that moment, we go into the ceremony, and Lord Cinderby can't even look at Rose. I don't know if you noticed that. He gets up, but he will not turn his head to look. Everybody
Yep.
else is looking at the
Really?
bride.
Right, and
He is not looking at
look.
her.
He was just
ice.
Dope.
It was always like, whoa, dude, just
Stone face.
Yeah, it was terrible.
How can you not soften this poor, cute little? I
Yeah.
will please your son in
Yeah.
any way that I can.
Yeah.
I'll do anything for him. I love him like life. Like it was great. He
It
just,
was, but he turned a little bit. I mean,
He
afterwards.
accepted it. He
did.
said it's done now.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
But what was
And
his
I
line?
don't believe in
Something-
divorce.
Yeah.
So you're stuck.
you're stuck.
And he said, "It is done. Let us go forward in hope."
Yes.
At least you got that.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, that is sweet.
But the button on that was when, Lady Cinderby heard what Rose had said about the fact that she knew it wasn't
It wasn't
the
his
father
style.
because it's not his style, and
Yeah.
she already knows him better than your son. So
Yeah.
you better pay attention to her because she's good. you
Lady
know?
Cinderby.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
love
was
her.
nice. Exactly.
Liked
wasn't
it a lot.
She was. I just love the way they painted Lady Cinderby today. Well,
She
both
was
of them actually. I thought they were a great
Yeah.
couple.
Yes.
Yes.
Great couple because you believed, for me, you believed both arguments, both sides of it, and it was conflicted, and yet they still somehow found a way to make it work.
Make it work.
It was great.
You know, and I just have to say, it must have been with the way conventions were so strict.
Yeah.
Just a few years before this, we're still in the turmoil of times changing, and religion being such a cornerstone for people's lives, even if they're not religious people, it's the culture of religion, and it had to have been really difficult for everybody involved to try and be welcoming and tolerant
Yeah.
and open to the love, but also trying to navigate what the problems are going to be for these people.
Well, and even
I'll drink to
borne
that.
out, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. But borne out by in the reception line when I don't know what lady it was that went up to
yeah,
Cora.
Lady-
It was,
Lady
Lady
Manville.
Lady Glanville.
Glanville.
Oh, I'm so glad you guys are taking it so well. Did you know my daddy was Jewish?
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
At the reception, for crying out
Exactly.
loud. It's like,
I'd forgotten.
that's appropriate to say that,
Shut up.
Exactly. I thought you were supposed to be well bred and mannered.
Exactly. People,
But Cora, that was, a great. I mean, unfortunate that she didn't have the moment inside instead of Violet stepping forward. But she had this great moment.
that was
so
a great one
nice.
for her.
Yeah, that was
was
good.
good.
And she was kind about it. Oh, perhaps you've forgotten my father's Jewish.
The British and their backhanded compliments.
Check, please.
Yeah, she was great.
I didn't know you were going
yeah,
to be
exactly. Yeah, that was terrific.
It
Okay.
was wonderful.
But it was a great wedding. It wasn't a huge splashy wedding. It wasn't
No.
one of the big ones and everything
She
like that.
looked
but-
beautiful in her wedding dress,
Yes.
right?
Super shout out to the costume designers for everything that Rose wore in this
Oh,
episode.
yeah. I
I
loved
mean-
when she put on and when she wore the blue outfit in the first.
Yeah.
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 When she put on that, can we see it with the hat? And I'm telling you, it made
The hat was
thing.
amazing. And then when the first dinner I think they had at the with the Granthams, when she had the headpiece that was silver and she had the white and silver dress on.
Yes.
I was done. And then the wedding dress, of course, was
The wedding dress was amazing.
miraculous.
It was beautiful.
And she had a pink dress and this other
Oh, yeah,
headdress
yeah, that was
the-
gorgeous.
it was just perfect. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about the period really, other than it looks like it's right, but they picked some.
I have a
wonderful
little
stuff.
news about it, which we'll
Well,
talk about in the news.
I'm a little out of the loop on this thing, but I think the
got
one
enough
I liked
estrogen
was
on
the
this now.
A-line cut on the bias that had the ombre with the peplum.
Yes.
Oh.
And I don't know any of the terms.
You
That's-
just
I've
described about
exhausted.
5 different dresses.
Well, thank you very much.
Mary had a peplum.
Oh, she had 5 different outfits.
All of
Mary
them
had
are
some
on
interesting stuff
A-lines.
on, yeah.
Yeah.
Mary kind of went a little menswear at the registry with her little bow tie and she had her little
yeah.
shirt on. And I was like, wasn't she just talking smack about it at the fashion show like 3 episodes ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's trying. Well, she got the hair done, so.
She did, and I'm sorry, but that outfit, one of our YouTube fans
God.
mentioned that Mary, yes, it was appropriate for the time period, but everybody knows she looks like Willy Wonka, and when she had that bow tie on, I couldn't stop. I was dying. I was like, that's a
I
Willy
loved
Wonka
that
moment.
comment. That made me laugh
Willy
so
Wonka.
loud. Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka.
Oh yes, yes. I
Yeah.
think I was.
Just to
I was
clarify.
clear on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't resemble Gene Wilder in
No,
the
not at all.
Not at all. But yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, for me, that wraps up the wedding thing. We have other things. Anybody else wanted to say about the whole storyline with the wedding? Okay,
no,
good.
fabulous.
Let's
No,
move
let's
on to
move on.
something
It was
something I
beautiful.
want to talk about real quickly and move on from because nobody cares. Anna and Bates.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. Is that where my mouth was supposed to drop?
Yes, exactly. So of course they just kept, for lack of a better, I'm sorry, I shouldn't
See
say,
my
but they
mouth?
kept. Yeah, exactly.
Over it. Somebody's always got to get arrested.
They
in
kept
this
hinting
relationship.
at it. Viner's going to talk to you. You need to talk to Vine. Oh, you got to be at Scotland Yard. You got to be. So of course they go to Scotland Yard, and and it's
It's a freaking lineup. How do you just say?
no.
Yeah,
It's
what
not
is
a
it,
line.
John?
It is an identity parade. That's what it's.
That's what they called it back
That's
then.
an identity
Wow.
parade, which sounds much more enjoyable.
Yes.
I'm going to lead the identity parade.
I'll be on the float.
That's right.
Representing
Waving.
Downton.
So,
Oh my god.
Wow.
The identity
we call it a
parade.
lineup. It's an identity parade.
Yeah.
So,
Alrighty
So
then.
and then of course eventually she gets arrested, and I know I'm skipping over a lot, but
we don't care.
When she got arrested, did anybody really go, oh darn?
No.
No.
It was not
No shock.
shocking. It was stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm just mad.
We're,
like,
you know,
dumb.
I have to say we're not the only ones, because I was
Yeah.
reading comments on Facebook pages and on articles that I was doing for the news, and everybody is over it. Everybody is over it. And it's such a disappointment because it was such an incredibly important storyline last season and nobody cares. So Anna being arrested is silly because we know she didn't do it because she wouldn't be...
Is concerned about Bates being
Thank you.
arrested,
Yes.
and she's.
Because there was a time when she was like thinking...
Did he
Yeah,
do
he
it?
did it.
Yeah.
And then the
She-
relief that she just expressed 3
Yeah.
episodes ago, like, oh God, thank you, you didn't do
Right.
it. Like,
Right.
obviously she didn't do it.
Right.
And so
But-
she, yeah.
I think what they're hoping for is that you'll be so upset that she may get locked up, convicted, whatever.
No.
But
Oh,
I don't think that
mad.
could ever happen because we've already
dumb.
been to that same storyline for a
Yes.
whole season with him being locked up unjustly. There's no way you're going to put the wife now locked up unjustly for another
It's
season.
ridiculous.
can't
I
do that.
would have been happier if they said a gorilla jumped off of like the circus's cart and pushed him in the
Right.
street and killed him.
Yeah.
Like I would have been.
But they're also hinting because of what Bates said to Mary as they were coming back to Downton that he says, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
she's
she's
not
not
going to be
gonna be
convicted.
convicted.
Suggesting that
Because
he might, I don't know,
there's more
confess, whatever.
information. Yes.
Who knows
But then
what
if
they-
he really,
No, I
John,
look,
if he confesses,
I'm not.
no.
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just suggesting this is what they're hinting at.
That's what I took from it too. He's
Yeah.
gonna take the rap.
Yeah, and I don't think that. For me, I would be throwing the implausibility flag like crazy on that too.
Completely.
So please do not repeat this.
No,
I know.
So
no,
don't
no.
do another story
We
like
wish
that.
he got
Okay.
shot in an.
All right. So the one thing I did like about it was
Really
the way
just
that
unfortunate hunting
Mary and Bates and Lord Grantham all came to her defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Except the cop did not give
No,
a darn
no.
about
I
Mary.
am Lady
Yeah.
Mary
I'm
Crawley. I don't
Lady-
care.
I
You're the
did
Queen
Queen
of
of
her
the
Nile
Nile.
and taking her. Yeah, it was nice, but it was fun. I like that. that
Again,
moment.
yeah, defending
Yeah.
the defenseless
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of thing. It was great.
Yeah, I like that at all.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all I really want
Whatever.
to get into that because the rest of it is
Moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
Swipe to the next
The
page.
way more fun thing I want to talk about is Denker.
Danker, dastardly Danker.
Who knew?
Drunk.
I knew something was up. She's a
You
lush.
did from the beginning.
No, well, she's
Okay.
way too saucy.
She's always on the
She's a little
sauce.
sass.
She's always
saucy.
on the sauce.
Saucy, yeah, okay. All right, well, yeah, but when we first met her, I didn't get that she was that saucy. But I mean, it was good to see the size.
Well-
But I'm just wondering if you thought or felt that from. The
I didn't
moment you
know
met-
it was the fact that she
Okay.
was a lush, but
I didn't think it was AA type of saucy. But apparently.
But yeah, the sort of back behind the scenes
Yeah.
tension between her and Spratt.
Oh yeah, there's that. That
Yeah.
set up
You
the
know.
whole thing.
Yeah.
And Spratt gets called out and just
that was
Oh,
funny. That
poor
was
Spratt.
really
He's
back
He's
into
terrible.
that.
He's terrible at this stuff. He can't get
No.
away. He's just
can't
not
win.
good at trying to be that underhanded. You can't
No.
compete with the Denker.
No.
Not a chance.
He kicked a suitcase under
Yeah.
the bed.
Ooh, that'll show her.
That'll show her.
Exactly. Had a good go.
Violet's so on to everything.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 That was
Okay,
great.
but one of my favorite things about the whole Denker thing, Thomas, because he knows
knew
what
it.
it's like to
Yes.
see somebody else culling somebody from the herd and preying on them.
Yes.
He
Yes.
immediately sees it.
He does.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Oh, no, we're
wants
gonna
to
go
defend
again.
against
Wants to
it.
defend him.
Yeah.
Which is like,
That
okay, they're creating a
have a
new
soul
storyline for
again.
Thomas. They're going back to that heroic thing, especially
Yeah,
the
he
way
has
he
moments.
took the fight for James. Or
James.
Yeah.
Jimmy early on. It's kind of the same thing. He comes to the defense of this guy. Even Patmore was. She knew what was going on right
Yeah.
away. So that was kind of fun. But then when you see where it is, and the poor Andy, I feel bad for him.
Oh,
he
he was in over his head.
yes.
Even when she
For
says
sure.
the second time, she goes, "Just get your stuff and let's
Just
go."
go.
And
He was just like, okay.
what-
You're a grown man.
she's
You
not-
can say no.
Yeah, she's not your boss. I mean, move on.
Exactly. What is
Why-
she gonna do? Drag
yeah.
you?
Yeah, that was funny. Okay, but the bar, the speakeasy, whatever
Yeah.
whatever it is,
The velvet violin.
the
Velvet
gambling joint.
violin.
Is that what it was? The velvet what?
The
Velvet
velvet violin.
violin.
Oh,
I think,
nice.
yeah.
I didn't catch the name. That's
Yeah.
great. I wish I had. Velvet violin. Not so velvet or violin.
No.
Yeah, some kind of risky characters in there.
Yes, there are.
But Thomas wins
right
back
in.
all the money.
Yep.
in like
And he
5
wasn't even the
minutes.
gambler. If you remember, James was the gambler.
Yep.
Right.
He was. I didn't even know Thomas had the ability, or but you would expect that he would know his way around a gambling table based on what we know of his upbringing.
Tom is he's a hustler.
Yeah.
So therefore, gambling.
Of course. And he went. I wonder what they were playing. It looked like Texas Hold'em, but it wasn't.
Or Tom.
Okay.
I'm not that familiar.
Oh well, never mind.
the
Then.
gambling
I
universe.
don't want to reveal how much I know
like
about
my
gambling.
money.
So he gets his winnings and he pays.
Tells him to
Andy,
get out of here.
Pay your bill and let's go.
Yo.
And it gets her to get in trouble, basically.
Yeah. I appreciated it.
The look, but you know what was even better is when she came back the second time when she's all drunk. She's supposed to be back by
Then
10.
singing.
She's singing "Long Way to Tipperary."
That was pretty funny.
And why should we give a tinker's cuss? What was it?
A tinker's cut about the maid.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know what that means, but I just
Not a
love the
clue.
line.
But it was great.
Please, somebody let
was
us know what the
good.
there that means.
Yes.
We didn't get a chance to look that up.
Daisy's like,
I don't think it's much.
And in front of all the maids, and it was just the maids are, oh my God, saucy. There you go, the saucy language. Oh, I'm getting the vapors. So Dinker, of course, has to pay for everything. So boom,
Yes,
nice
love
job.
it.
Tammy has a drinking problem.
Perfect.
All right. Let's see. All right. Well, that for me was enough for because we have a lot to
It
get
was
through.
funny,
So
yeah.
it was
Yeah, it was
nice and
nice
levity.
moving
on.
But was also part of this particular one is the Daisy thing where.
Daisy.
We're going farther with her teaching and learning, and she's
Her
realizing
world is expanding.
Yeah,
Yes.
and much to her dismay.
Her.
Absolutely.
so cute.
Oh, look at you guys!
It's
Chuck.
so cute.
precious.
Someone's brought her into the sunlight.
And they think it's so beautiful, and she's like, "No, I'm pissed. I've been living in a hole for like 25 years. This is awful."
I'm incredibly discontented.
Yes.
Yes, and she feels imprisoned.
Yes. That's
So cute.
Yeah,
dismal. But she's like ready to go now.
She gives a resignation.
Yeah,
That's it. I'm
she's
giving my
like,
notice. I'm out of here. I'm gonna
done
go to
with
London
it.
and get a job.
Yep.
I
Go to
like
the big
it.
city.
I like it, Daisy.
That's right.
Even
But
though
of
I
course-
felt my heart broke.
Oh,
Mrs.
Miss
Cotmore.
Yeah.
She is like, I don't know if it's just her face is like always on the verge of crying. Like, I don't know what it is, but like she just had like, you look at her and you're like, oh, and she just broke me up immediately. She's great. I like
She
her.
is great.
But okay, but even with all that book learning, Daisy didn't figure out that it was because of her that she was crying. Like Daisy.
Well, she just doesn't assume
Duh.
like I would be like that upset about.
Uh-huh.
I'm not her daughter, but she is like embraced her.
Well, that's
as a
true. That the
daughter.
part that she was so surprised that it would have such an effect on her,
Yes.
and that there was somebody else who loved her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because we even got Mr. Mason talking about that at the
I
end
know.
there.
I was so glad she said I'm gonna wait.
yeah, till her exams are done. She passes her exams, and then she may go. So, I assume she'll be around for the next season,
Possibly.
or leaving in the middle of it, or whatever. Who knows? But she'll be around. So, but that was nice, huh?
Well, and
love her.
just take a moment and think back to Daisy in the
First-
early
yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And she was so meek and so
Timid.
and
Timid is a good
just really like like a little
Mouse.
tiny animal,
Yeah.
and now she's got this.
Fire in her belly.
I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's adorable.
Fire.
But she also it's tempered by compassion. I mean, she was
Yeah.
very
Yes.
compassionate with. So it was
Yeah, really touched by
yeah,
Mrs.
very
Patmore's.
touched by her.
Well, and also Mr. Mason,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He-
absolutely.
and he's so sweet.
He
I
is.
don't think people who love each other should be
To be
apart.
I don't cry easy, but they were like moving me in this. I was like, oh, that's so, because they're like, wait, and it's such an ordeal to go anywhere. Like,
God,
even when
no
the
kidding.
family's like trying, I noted like in the beginning when they all left, and
Yeah.
it's like 800 cars and like servants, and it's just a mess. So I get it. You're
Yeah.
in the country and you're apart. We don't
Yeah.
have text messages. That's stressful.
Not even.
That's sad.
Oh well, if
My
you were sad
heart
about that, how did you feel about Prince Karug and what he said to Violet and all
I
that?
freaking love that Violet was like, what did I pick out to wear last night? That was like my favorite moment of the whole episode. That's what you think of it. Oh,
And Danker on it.
yes. She's like, it's
Oh, don't
quite
you worry.
lovely.
I've got it all
Yeah.
under control.
Yes, she sensed it. I love it, Krogan. I love that, like, all the men, well, even Tony and his whackness, like,
Yeah.
they're very bold and blunt this season. Like they're just straight up like, I want to make out with you. I want to sleep with you. I want to be your lover.
Right?
I want to run away. Like he was just laid it out.
This relationship makes me awkward though. I must say. It's a little too risque. He is so forward. Like you said, I want to make you my friend and lover. I know. Like, violence?
Y'all still do that?
I agree.
Yeah, I know.
And so I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about the element of his being poor and destitute and a refugee at this point? Is that anything behind his motivation?
Of course it is. It's but not like in the way not in the way that like I'm trying to get some money back, but in a way that it's colored his existence now. Like it's made him in a place where I don't care what the confines of our cultures are. Like I don't give a I want to be with you.
I don't think it has anything to do. And
Yeah.
I don't think it has anything to do with I want to be with her because of her money or her station or her position.
No.
I think it's all like, and I think it's because he's staring at his mortality. He's going, look,
He's seen his whole world fall apart.
Exactly.
And this one thing that he used to just.
And there's been a lot of ugliness the last few years, and I'm done with the ugliness. And he doesn't, all he sees is, he doesn't see scandal, he sees love.
Yes.
He wants to spend the last few years of his life with her.
Yeah.
There were some deep moments in Downton this week.
And I just love her. She one of the first things she asks is, "Are you planning on divorcing?" Because that's where she's like, if you weren't married,
We can make this
she can't
happen.
answer.
His wife is a prostitute in Hong Kong.
Whoa.
Why does he gotta get a divorce? Hasn't it been like 15 years now or something? How long has it been?
Right. Well, and
How
his
long has she been
response,
gone?
why?
You
Do
wanna
you want
have
more children?
children?
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
I loved that.
I thought maybe I could get it right this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
does it matter that he's married? Like, that Russian government doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but
I guess it was
it
the
only does
church.
to Violet.
Right, because she
Because-
brings it up in the end.
Absolutely. That's the
when
thing
she's
she says
talking
to Isabel.
Thank you.
Because
What's going on with Isabel?
Well, let's talk about that because she says I can't answer to Corrigan's suggestions that we say, but she's thinking about it because the two things that she says to Isabel for sure is life doesn't give you many chances, and you better know, and you never know if you're going to get another one.
Yeah.
So you want to take advantage. And then what she says is don't let Lord Merton's son rob you of your
happiness and your future. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So she's definitely considering it. But in the end, the last thing she says to Isabel about the whole storyline is, you should fight, basically, but you have the whole last card.
You have the advantage.
He's not married.
Mm-hmm. His wife is dead.
So I think the whole thing for Violet is that moment, that piece of information is that, that might be a possibility, but my convention, as we were talking about earlier, doesn't allow me to be with you because you're married.
Yeah.
Right.
Even in this instance, which, maybe she is in some foreign land and never to return or whatever it is. And I don't think she can bring herself to marrying him.
I don't
or
either.
to being with him, not even marrying
He
him.
just has to kiss her one time.
Yeah.
That's all it will take.
I'm not ready
She's
for
already
that.
on a
Yeah.
cake.
So you're not ready for that? Alina's not ready for that.
I'm gonna have to turn away.
See, I think it's so good. Like, we don't ever see this anywhere. Like, these women, and there was an article about that, how, like, women of a certain age, like, there's no, like, sexual relationships
That's
and
true.
love. Like, you don't get to ever see that, really. And it's really cool that these have been, like, two major sort of stories happening in this show. And I
Yes.
love it.
I
Like,
love
'cause
it, too.
Yeah.
She's lonely. She was sad her friend's about to leave.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
really is alone. Like, they sit up in the house. Like, they don't get to hang out with their friends at the bar. Like,
There's
they're
no
sitting-
internet.
No, you hang out with Sprat and crazy old Dinker. Like, that would suck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you read a lot.
And what you're doing is playing referee between
Exactly.
the two. Like, really? This is what my life is now?
Yeah.
I mean, that's some pretty strong pull for considering his
Yeah.
proposal.
And they love each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I don't
should
know.
she? Would
Hell
she? Will
yeah.
she?
Should she? Yes. Will she? No. That's my
Yeah.
thought.
I
That's
agree.
my thought.
Unless we
Yeah.
find out the princess is dead.
Yeah. Unless she
And
does.
Shrimpy's working on it.
Well, not
Killing her?
Well,
not killing her. Whoa, let's clarify.
Finding out.
Okay. All right. All right. Speaking
Yeah.
of something that is also dead, let's move on to Mary and Tony because we finally had the death nail by him saying goodbye in a way he said
Good
goodbye.
luck, Mary. Bye.
Yeah, but even before that was the
Bye.
awkwardness between Maybelline and Tony and Tom and
Yes.
Mary and the whole thing. I just love those. They're so awkward, but they're still so polite about it.
So polite. We are actually getting married.
Yes, in December because in London, of course, because weddings in the country are just so dirty.
Well, I hope I'll be invited.
Yes, of course.
No, you
Don't-
slept with
don't
my
you-
husband.
will that be
my
part of the
husband.
Christmas special? You think their
Yes.
wedding?
Yes.
Okay.
Implausibility flag.
Okay. That they were there at all?
Yes.
But okay.
No, you can't fight that one.
Well, only
Try.
because they're of the
No.
same.
They're
But
all-
why was Lady
they're uppity
Mandeville
people.
or
They're all
whatever her name
together.
there?
Because she doesn't have a terrible history with
Oh.
the family.
But Tony
It's
doesn't
not
have
a terrible history. It's
history.
hard
They
to
don't know that.
Nobody knows what really.
I mean,
went
I agree.
down.
It was like, really, he's gonna be there. I mean, it seemed like just a
It was
convenient place
yeah.
to put them.
Yeah, I thought it was.
But they run in the same circle, so I could see
I
that
would see
they
socially
extended
that they
an
had to be
invitation.
on the list.
They kept inviting him to the house,
And what if
Courtney,
he was
so-
invited already before the
Yeah.
whole like Mary situation really fizzled out, and then they couldn't rescind the invitation?
So
Well, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have to bring his ex-fiancée /
Well, you can't.
future
you
wife.
can't
He couldn't go without her if Mary's
Wait a
gonna
minute.
be there.
they were still engaged, and he took Mabel to the movies. So once they're not engaged, why can't he
I
bring her
don't
to the
know.
wedding? I mean,
It's just awkward.
it is awkward.
it
was
didn't
very
make any
awkward.
sense to
I
me.
thought it
was
I mean, I thought
fabulous.
it was a fine scene. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's all. It's silly.
Yeah.
Fine.
But even Lord Grantham is still thinking they make a handsome
got
couple.
the
Gazing lovingly at the two of them.
They make such a lovely couple. Get over it, Dad.
No, give it up. Is to get over it? I
Give
thought
it
it was
up.
give it up.
Give
It
it
was
up.
like,
Yeah,
Give it up.
what?
Give it up, Dad.
2014 ended up in 1924. To give it up. It's a pipe
never
dream.
gonna happen. That was great.
It was great for Edith, though.
It was. It was
nice.
funny.
All right.
It was very funny.
But then we also had, afterwards, we had this nice moment between Carson and Mary.
I was so glad.
yeah.
Because when you saw Tony with Mary talking and
Yeah.
you saw Carson in the
background,
background,
yeah,
and I was
that
like, oh, I remember they were like that was such a good
Yeah.
relationship.
I love
wanted
that
the moment back.
relationship.
Yeah, so I'm glad they had brought that moment back.
right, because
Yeah,
we
it's
haven't
very good.
seen much of that in a long time.
And you know what? The funny thing is, because we think Mary's, well, she's certainly much more independent, or I should say stronger, appearingly, than Edith. It's nice to
Right.
see her having that older father-like figure come in
Yeah.
so that she can be a little bit vulnerable, so we can see that other
Yeah.
side of her.
Yeah.
Because, he always has thought the best of her, and she knows, even in that image, she can't live up to that because she doesn't think it herself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
not
she did when
doing it
Matthew was
either.
around, but
Yeah, well, because he saw it too.
Yeah.
To a greater
yeah.
degree.
Just to backtrack just a tiny bit, Mary saying to Tony, "You were there when I needed
I laughed.
you.
I
You were
did.
what I needed when
I
I
needed
needed
it.
it." If you know what I mean.
I'm not exactly
how
sure.
Do you know
what-
what they mean, John?
I don't know to what you are referring.
know
We'll have to
what.
move on.
I
Shoot.
know what.
Oh, all right.
In that hotel room, when
Yeah.
I needed to feel free.
When they were sketchy.
sketchy.
See, Mary
Oh.
no longer has anyone to sketch with, if you know what I mean.
I'm sure she can find a partner to sketch
Sketching
with.
partners.
Not
Yes.
one that would be as discreet as Tony was.
Oh, I don't know. He was afterwards. He wasn't that discreet.
Yeah.
Throw it in her face. All right, but they had that nice moment, and even Carson is the one that again says it right on the nail. Look, he wasn't good enough for you, not by half.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, which was the truth. I mean, I don't know if he was good enough, but. I'm not sure I believe that part of it because I'm not sure that sometimes I don't think Mary's that she's
Mary's
not that much of a
good.
catch.
Yeah.
They weren't
know,
a good match.
Yeah, they
for
weren't a
them,
good
but
match
they're
by
not.
any means.
Yeah.
So
Good
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, but it was again. It was for me. It was at that parallel. Okay, Shrimpy and Rose had their little father-daughter thing, and this was another father-daughter thing.
Yeah.
And it's totally different way, but it's just as successful for me.
And I do kind of like to see that Mary was a little bit deflated by the
Yeah.
idea, even though she knows like Tony wasn't it. But to see her affected
Yeah.
a little bit, to be kind of like, oh dang, I'm alone. I am
And also-
actually alone.
She's human.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that she left the reception and she said
Yeah.
they won't miss me because this is somebody else having their day and she's had hers. I mean, there was all stuff,
A lot of stuff
rolled
going
up in
on.
that moment of her being away.
Yeah.
So that was
We appreciate it.
yes, it was very good. All right, let's move on to Lord Grantham. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. We want to talk Tom real quick because I thought this was they're really because we talked about it early in the podcast, especially Courtney. Did you have anything you want to say about this particular?
He's not going to freaking Boston.
Oh
to
come on! He's
build
got a cousin in
frickin'
Boston.
cars.
He's got a dealership, a partnership
Build
with
no
farm
darn
vehicles and cars.
No, they're about to build some cottages and make them cute
No,
so that they
no.
can rent them out when everybody goes broke in the Depression.
That's a great
And
opportunity for him.
It is not a great opportunity. You love your sisters. You cannot leave your sisters. Edith is.
They're not
just-
his real sisters.
There
though.
are his sisters.
He has a real cousin.
He married Sybil. Those are his sisters. That's who he's been living with, and his daughter needs to be around her aunties.
In the words of Sibby, why? Why?
I
are we
can't
going
really
to
argue
Boston?
that point. I can't
Right?
really go any further. I was
Exactly.
I was going to work on Courtney, but you had to
Why?
bring Sibby into it.
I did. You can't.
Oh,
There's
Yeah.
no
Right,
moving to America.
But
for
at least he's
you.
staying through Christmas, so we know he's going to be there for the Christmas
Yes.
special.
Right. Of
course he has to be.
And
we'll see how that goes.
I love how warm the sisters are about,
Yes.
to him and about him.
Yes,
like if
that's-
there's something they can agree on,
Yeah, it
it's
would be
Tom.
Tom. Yeah.
yeah.
And they really were great at how they wove that in this particular episode.
Yeah.
I appreciated it.
They
Yeah.
both, you could see that their hearts were breaking, that the
Yeah.
idea of him leaving.
My heart was breaking.
Yeah.
So, because, he really is, well, if he's not there, they're left with each other.
Exactly.
I know, right?
That's horrible.
And he's the voice of reason and something else than Grantham.
And he really does have their back all the time. I mean, the way he
Yes.
came to Rose's defense
Yes.
right
Yeah.
away, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. He really is stepping into
Yeah,
that, like,
talking
second
about-
in line kind of
Yeah.
Exactly.
position.
And very much a gentleman.
Very.
Unlike, some of the gentlemen that are
Exactly.
have been like the Burton sons.
Oh, good Lord.
Worse.
All right. All right. But speaking of Tom and the village development, so it's Lord Grantham decides he has a way to fund it.
I was excited.
He's decided he's going to sell the Dylan and Francesca.
I have to
Yes.
say, for as much as we've been critical of Julian Fellows
Uh-huh.
this season, I liked how he wrapped this up. I
Yeah.
thought it was a really great win-win for everybody. You know, he funded the thing and really ate crow with
Oh,
his wife
yeah.
and
Yes.
just said, how bad that painting made him feel
every
because
time he
he
looked at
hadn't
it.
trusted her. She says she's taking it on and says, I've spoiled the painting for you. And he says, I'm reminded that I didn't trust you. I'm so angry with myself that I want to be rid of it. Well, that's perfect. Right?
Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
And then not only that, but he's going to develop the village with
Yes,
it.
he's
So
gonna
there you
develop
go.
the village.
I know.
Make it happen.
Two birds, way to go.
Yes.
And we always think of him, he's so stupid most
Well,
of the time.
Yeah.
or how
And
some
selfish.
others how does one other person on this panel refer to him? I can't recall.
Oh,
Lord
There was-
douchebag.
There was a title.
that's it.
There was a
Douchebag.
title.
Did
Lovely
he
way-
redeem himself?
Tonight he did. He did. I actually kind of liked him tonight.
Yeah.
I thought he
Especially
did.
with the memorial.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Since
As
you mentioned
soon
it,
as
yeah.
he opened
Patmore.
that book and he saw the little tombstone,
Yeah.
I was like, he's gonna do it for Patmore. I'm so
Yay.
glad.
That won me over.
And I thought it was very smart that we kind of glossed over the whole ISIS is no more thing.
Yes.
And that's why he's looking at those things, but it would have been way too heavy to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
it was nice that, and
Love
that was a great way to springboard into the other storyline and
Yeah.
make it much more uplifting and
Wonderful.
fulfilling.
Right.
So
Exactly.
and great from Miss Patmore again, and again, crying like crazy. What's wrong with her?
But
Right.
she's always
I'm kidding.
like on the verge. Like you're
Yeah.
like, what? She's gonna follow, and she's just
So
so
cute.
heartwarming.
Well, and it was so
cute.
sweet, the words that he used, another gallant chap
Yeah.
who had served our house and,
No,
served his
wasn't
country.
part of
Part of
Downton,
Downton,
but
but
whose people are
Cared a
love
lot
him all
about
the
him,
less.
yes.
That's why he wasn't on the memorial because he didn't serve Downton.
Right,
That's why
right,
they had
right.
a separate piece.
Right. Sorry,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
But then he said, who said it? It's just as it should be.
Mr. Mason,
Was
I believe.
And then, no, it was before that. But then Lord Grantham and Carson shared the look.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of, not on board with this idea.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that was Mr. Mason's just as it should be, and then they shared that look. That's what happened.
Okay, yeah.
So.
So, yeah, that moment. Right.
And
you're
the
right, it
word they
wasn't
used
too
on the
recent.
thing was his sacrifice. Remember
Yes,
his sacrifice. Because
yes.
regardless of how you feel about him, there was a
There's a
sacrifice
sacrifice
there.
there.
So which
I
you can
appreciated
honor
that.
that, and you can appreciate that. Yeah.
What I didn't
Perfect.
appreciate though was that so everybody goes over and they see the nice little stone,
Yeah.
and then Patmore is like, "Oh my god, and she's dying," and then everybody walks away. I was like, "Grantham, did you hug her before you left?" No.
No.
He noticed Marigold and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go over there," and Patmore's
Yeah.
just there by herself. Can
Come
somebody
on,
hug
have
that
you-
woman.
Well,
Have you
know.
ever seen him hug anybody?
Yeah, that
Exactly.
may
But it
be
just
too.
it would have been too much. But
Yeah,
I
it would've
laughed
been.
because
But it
they
would have been.
literally
I
just
thought
walked
Mrs.
away.
Hughes would. I thought somebody would be
Somebody.
there by her, behind
She
her.
was sobbing and everybody
Yeah,
just walked
exactly.
away.
What? Where do?
Oh,
hey.
okay, we're gonna go do
Oh,
this
all right.
now. Yeah.
I can see both sides of that. The
Yeah.
other one is giving her a private
Yeah.
moment
Yeah.
with something, and because there are times when you just don't want to be sobbing in front of people. You don't want people fawning over you when you're crying over something
know what
sad
you're
like
talking
that. No, you wouldn't.
You don't want to pat
Heartless.
okay,
Everybody
leave you
needs a
alone.
pat.
We'll
Everybody
let you
needs a
go.
pat.
Or like as you walk past her.
Yeah.
Instead of being like,
Everybody needs a
bye.
pat.
Or somebody's like, "Hey, are you done?" Let's go. No,
Is
that's
it
not,
over?
Not right.
No.
Okay.
Is it over?
Nope,
Is it
she's
over?
still crying.
All right.
She's
So,
still crying.
and also, I love the way they choreographed the everybody walking back to Downton. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that shot with those people walking. I thought that
whole
was
town.
terrific, and
Very
wrapping up
pretty,
every
yes.
storyline and setting up other storylines. I thought that was terrific.
I liked it a
In those
lot.
nice moments there, and then of course,
He
Yeah,
also,
go ahead.
he also won me over with the response he gave Cora at the end when
Yeah.
she said, "Will you love your granddaughter?"
Yeah.
But I'm jumping ahead.
no,
so-
go ahead. That's what we're talking about right now. The only thing I was gonna say is I like the way that they did a nice little wind up with that. So they kept
Yeah.
hitting that bell a couple times. She reminds me.
That
like
was
deja
funny.
vu.
That was the runner for the episode. They just
Yeah.
kept bringing that back.
And he
He looks
figured
like,
it out.
but then I go, when he said,
Gregson.
looks like Gregson. I go,
Gregson.
what?
Why did you say it looks like your daughter?
What?
Right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
Gregson. So anyway, what was
But
it?
the only thing is, he was so nonchalant when he actually found out about it, wasn't he?
figured
it
He
out.
was just,
Well, I think
just
well-
tell me the truth. Oh, it's true.
No,
Okay.
because he found out earlier.
I think he'd probably. It looked like he'd been ruminating about
took
this for
two
a
or
while,
three.
About it.
and so I think he had prepared himself either way.
Yeah.
So I think he was just waiting for Cora to actually confirm it, and then I thought the moment that he took was. Because it just harkened back to
Right.
okay, just another
Yeah.
one other thing.
Yeah.
It's an unusual sensation.
Which
Which
is a-
there's a secret that I am privy to.
That was. That's what I was
love
gonna
that.
say. He's finally accepting change in a very
Yeah.
simplistic
Yeah.
okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna deal with
And
it.
it's a great self-awareness because
Yeah.
he realizes he's not privy to much, unlike Carson, who had, when Mrs. Hughes has that nice line to him, which is "You're not blessed with self-awareness or self-knowledge."
That was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The two father figures aren't really aware of their position or their
Nope. Not a clue.
yeah. That was
No.
great. So did it swing you,
Yeah.
Elena? Yeah.
He gave the right answer.
Yeah.
I will love her. I mean, he should have said, "I do love her. I already feel."
Well,
for
I mean,
her,"
he was
but
on the
like,
ground
I guess
playing-
it's the honest truth,
Yeah. I just thought that because the way they set it up in the beginning when he was on the ground playing whatever game it was
Yeah.
with
Sibby.
and and being called Donk and the whole thing, you can see that I think it is opening up, and those kids are, and I think the fact that Marigold is part of that, I think that will open him up to that.
Even more.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I hope anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
None of the grandkids, by the way, have both their parents. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Tragic.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, we still don't know
half
the-
orphaned.
Well, they've got lots of names.
I'm still holding on to Gregson's.
You are, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
One thing that we didn't talk about that I just wanted to mention in the Anna and Bade story
Yeah.
was Green has attacked several women.
Yeah.
that we have
Yes.
found out.
Serial.
So I just put that out there because I think that's going to be important for next season.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I thought it was funny that we hadn't talked about that sort of when we talked about what happened. Like, we should have thought about that because he's been in houses all this time. And
Yeah.
usually once a rapist,
Exactly.
usually does it more than
Exactly,
once. So, yeah, it
exactly,
was an
exactly.
interesting idea that they brought in.
Carson and Hughes.
Yes.
What if I swore that neither has done anything wrong?
Yeah.
She says to him. So
This goes back to what I've said. So
why would she be swearing, John?
because I think she's the one who knows who did it.
Or she did it.
I think she did it. That's what I said a couple. I said,
But that doesn't make any sense.
it doesn't make. I even said that. Of course, it doesn't make any sense.
Clear.
Just
It's not going to
Yeah,
make
exactly.
sense.
So, but I'm going. And it was. I had. You go back to the thing. All the other things are even dumber or weirder or less
Yeah.
believable. I go,
Yeah.
okay, well, that was the only one I could
Just
almost
let it
believe.
be a gorilla. This is stupid.
I'm telling you, unfortunate hunting accident is what it
Yeah.
should have been all along.
A gorilla got on the platform or got on the
Exactly.
pavement.
Just
waiting
fell.
for the
He ran away from
exactly.
the circus. They were trying to catch him, and he just got jumped by a gorilla.
All right, how did we like the finale? Did
I
we
loved
enjoy
it.
this? Was it a good?
Oh, I just
Yeah.
wanted to say this one thing. I appreciated Mosley and Baxter having their little moment.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
When he
true.
goes,
Yeah.
when she was like, "You're never safe until the ring's on your finger." When
Yeah.
they saw Rose, and he
Yeah.
goes,
Would
"You
you
want
like
to be safe?"
The look on his face when she said yes.
And Daisy's face too.
Yeah.
I was so
Well,
happy for them because
They're
Mosley's
cute.
they're
special.
cute.
He is special.
They're making him more cute and less daft.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah, less
It was
silly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Well, I thought that was just a good. I thought it was full and rich and had
Yeah.
lots of
Yeah.
really good stuff. Great conflict and wonderful. People stepping forward, especially Lady Cinderby. I just
Yeah.
really loved
I
her.
appreciated her a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of
So.
great shutdowns.
Loved
Shutdowns,
it.
exactly.
And a lot of hope
Although one thing I will say was that, we've spent a lot of the middle episodes of this season sort of watching grass grow, and things going along slowly. And then the first third or so of this episode, I felt like it was back to the
back, like the first
silly
episode.
super speed. And I was thinking, well, why couldn't he have split this storyline with last episode and this episode instead of packing it all into this one episode? And it just felt a little just not as wise in time management skills and writing
uneven
skills for me. Yeah. But I mean, I still enjoyed the finale. You love a wedding. You gotta love a wedding.
Yeah,
I do.
Especially that dress and those roses. That headpiece was great.
Yeah,
I don't even remember.
What? Awesome.
It was
It's okay.
flowers on each side.
You guys are talking about going, she had a headpiece on?
Headbands.
Yeah.
It was
see,
so
and I'm
pretty.
And I'm going, she had a headpiece? Oh,
She looked great.
no memory
Had
of a
that
headpiece.
been on a couple weeks ago, I totally would have been her for Halloween.
Right?
Except I didn't leave my house. But
You should have just done it and taken pictures.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Tomorrow she's going to be
Instagram
wearing that.
Exactly.
Look
It's
what I
Tammy's
made.
own Halloween.
She'll
I'll
Instagram it. Yeah. So, all right. So, well, any last thoughts about this, or should we get into news?
Let's go do news and then do last thoughts.
Okay,
because this
let's
will
do
probably
news. Right, let's hit on news.
encourage some things.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Maggie Smith cannot enjoy Paris.
What? Why? What's going on?
The 79-year-old actress was interviewed about her film My Old Lady, which was shot in Paris and came out here in the U.S. in September. She mentioned how she loves Paris, but she can't go anywhere alone there. Quote, I was besieged by Americans and Downton Abbey. That's never happened to me before. It's television that does it. It was awful. I love wandering around on my own, and I just couldn't. Aww. The article in The Telegraph is a wonderful interview where Maggie Smith talks about her long career and relationships on and off the stage and screen. Of co-star Penelope Wilton, who plays Isabel Crawley, she says, Penelope and I have have a great time. We play endless bananagrams, whatever that is. She makes me laugh a lot, and we talk about the books that we read.
Oh,
You know, if she just wear the makeup she did for that one role where she plays that homeless person or whatever, then nobody
lady
would
in the van?
Yeah, nobody would recognize her.
Yeah.
We
There
are
you go.
Americans. We're so classy.
Yeah. Okay, Americans. Any American, leave her alone.
Yeah, let her walk
Let her
through
have
Paris.
let her have her time
enjoy
in
it.
Paris.
She chose the role in My Old Lady because it was the only role she had been offered recently that didn't end up with her character dying.
Oh.
British release of the film is set for November 21st, and I have tweeted the link about this article. Read it; it's really good. It's worth reading. It's a very long article, and it's really interesting. Rose's wedding gown.
Yes. Okay.
Was the
She had a
genuine
gown? What?
Was the genuine article.
You
Whatever.
missed that
Just throw it away.
beautiful gown,
go
John.
doodle something, John. On this week's finale, beautiful Lady Rose got to wear some very lovely dresses, and one in particular, according to costume designer Anna Mary Scott Robbins, is the high point of my career.
Whoa.
It was because it was fabulous.
The white and gold gown that Rose wore to her wedding reception is something that is absolutely fit for a lady, and Scott Robbins anticipated making the perfect gown for her from scratch. But in her hunt for inspiration, she found the one.
Wow.
Quote, the dress she wears is a completely original piece that we unearthed in a vintage shop in immaculate condition.
Wow. They found that?
Yes.
Wow.
The hairs on the back of my neck stood up when we found it, and when Lily James put it on, it was one of those perfect moments that you don't often get in your career.
Wow.
Well, and
Talk about
Courtney, you were
hitting
all
the
responding
jackpot.
to it.
Hey, it was perfection. Everything about the wardrobe.
Yeah,
in
it was
this
perfect.
episode
It was
perfect.
modern-ish, but not too modern. It fit for her being a lady. I loved that it had a little bit of color to
Yes.
it. It was
It was perfect.
And
spectacular.
the accessories they chose to go with it all was wonderful.
Genuine vintage. Isn't that incredible? I mean, it really does give me chills too.
Yeah, me too.
The hairs, they're lifting.
Ratings for the finale are the worst ever.
Oh, no.
It's because everybody's been mad all season.
I know.
no.
Downton
Nobody
Abbey
tuned
finished.
in.
We finished its 5th season on ITV Sunday night with an average of more than 8 million viewers. It's
Still pretty good.
lowest ever UK
It's like
audience
8
for the
million.
season.
Is that bad?
Yeah, worst
Well,
ever.
well, yeah, they're up in the
If
9s
you were
and
like,
10s.
oh, okay.
Lowest ever UK audience for the finale to date. Let's see. 4th season finale was a 10.1. You know, I mean, they still only have like 4 channels there, so it's still a third of the,
Yeah, it's
the
not- I mean,
population are
it's just-
watching
it's
it.
low
It's
for
just
them.
low for them.
Low for
Right,
them.
exactly. Well,
I mean,
lowest-
any show in America, especially a cable show, would be going. 8
million?
Walking
Oh,
Dead, which is
huge.
huge, gets 6.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and the show is still ITV's highest rated drama.
Of course.
So,
Well, it's coming
still,
back. So
it's still doing
take
okay.
that.
And Downton has been renewed for a 6th season.
But let's talk about that. Do you think that's warranted? Because to me that makes sense. Because it wasn't. I still love the show. I love the series. I even liked the season, but it wasn't its strongest season. And
I agree.
I think the numbers are indicative.
I think you're not true fans because you gave up.
What?
You didn't bother to watch the finale.
That's
It wasn't
over
that bad. It wasn't
no.
hot garbage. Like, it's not the season.
No, I
like,
just think overall this season has
Yeah.
because it's been what it has been. I mean that
Yeah.
let people decide. Okay, well I don't need to see it.
and
As
most
opposed
shows aren't
to
gonna maintain.
other years, you were like you couldn't
You
wait.
gotta
For it.
Yeah.
wait for it.
Here's the thing. ITV's director of drama commissioning, Steve November, said, "We don't yet know what Julian has planned for season 6 or series 6, but we are looking forward to working with him, the fantastic cast, and Carnival, the production company, again, and have no doubt that series 6 will be unmissable."
Well, and that's a lot of shows do this. I'm not saying that's what Julian is doing, but a lot of shows when they know they've only got one more in, the one before is like
They
we
jog
want
a
to
bit.
save the really good stuff for the last
last
one.
season. That
And
makes
sometimes
sense.
that happens.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt that way. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean it was bad. It just means that we've seen
Yeah.
much more interesting, compelling storylines.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have they announced that season 6 is the last?
They have not announced that, but
They've announced that we have a
will.
season 6. We just don't
Yeah,
know
we
if
just,
it's
and it
already.
only just happened this week that
Yeah,
they
so.
announced it. So I'd like to do some viewer predictions.
Okay, go ahead. Let's do it.
And then we can go into ours. All right, here we go. Viewer predictions. Anna killed Green. Mrs. Hughes killed Green. Thomas killed Green. Tony Gillingham killed Green. Bates didn't kill Green, but will confess to killing Green to save Anna.
Agreed.
Bates did do it, and there's a murder-suicide involving Anna. I swear, these are all from our comments.
It's not one comment. It's from a bunch
No,
of
it's a
different
bunch
ones.
of people.
Okay.
No, or it was Colonel Mustard in the drawing room with a candlestick.
Yeah. Or a gorilla.
Here's another one. Who Killed Bates will be slipped in just before the credits of the Christmas special. Fellows himself will pop in front of the screen and say, "By the way, it was Tony Gillingham." And then the credits will roll. Or, finally, drum roll, it was an accident.
That was the world's worst Julian Fellows.
I've never heard him speak. And apparently he has an American accent.
Oh.
Other predictions. Dr. Clarkson bumps into Larry and beats the crap out of him in a
Nice.
mind-numbing rage.
Nice.
I like that. I like that.
Nice.
Lord Merton will call off the engagement because of
Oh.
something that Clarkson does or says that makes Merton think that Isabel would be happier with Dr. Clarkson.
Oh, interesting.
And finally, Tom will go to America. Edith will join him. Tom won't go to America. He'll fall in love with Mary. He'll fall in love with Edith. He'll fall in love with Daisy. And it will snow on Christmas. Those are our viewer predictions.
I think we've covered the gamut on that.
I can't tell you. I've told you. I can't tell you guys how much joy I get out of reading the comments
Oh, it's amazing.
and having conversations
They're
with people on Google
hilarious.
Plus and on YouTube. It cracks me
Fantastic.
up.
Yeah.
It makes me so giddy, and I love it. And I'm gonna miss you all for the
Yeah,
next
it's
46
No.
days. 46 days until the Christmas finale.
Wow.
I don't know that. I don't think we have any predictions. I don't think we need any predictions unless somebody
Well,
really
I
has something to say.
think I would like to say that I think that the Christmas special is going to be set at Christmas time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure. I think that is the plan.
Right.
I'm not sure it's been confirmed, but I think that is the plan. There was something else I was going to say that I don't remember. It will
Okay.
snow on Christmas.
And Mabel Lane and Tony will be
Tony
married.
will be
Well,
married.
that'll be part of it. I think the Cinderbreeze will be part of it in some fashion.
I hope so.
Hope
Gotta
so,
have it,
too.
yeah.
I
And I
know
don't
it's a-
just mean Atticus, but go ahead.
I know it's a little weird and slightly incestuous, but I've sort of felt this way for a very long time. And it's really interesting that somebody said it, but Mary and Tom.
I knew you were
I've
gonna
had
say
that
that.
feeling for a very long time,
too.
and I'm just like, it's her sister, but her sister's dead. It shouldn't matter. But when they had their moment this episode, where they were like really close, and again, they have these moments. They've been having them
Yeah.
all season. Like, I don't want you to go, I don't want you to go. But there was something very special and intimate about when they started talking about we have our memories,
Yeah.
I
and that's all we
completely
have.
agree.
And I just was like, why don't y'all just get married and get it over with?
Well, and I think there was another one of the predictions that I read that was so funny. It was something like, Tom wants a girl who wears pants, who knows who she is, who, is still a lady but can drink with the guy, whatever like this. And then they went, and that's Mary.
Okay, but he's as short as Blake.
But he's got gravitas or something great that we
Yeah,
like.
you think so?
I don't know.
Right.
It would work for me.
They already love
I wouldn't
each
be
other.
mad.
I
And
mean,
they
maybe
do
not
love each
romantically,
other.
but
I think there's a little romance in.
So do you think Mary at some point will turn to him and go, "Hey Tom, do you want to go sketching?"
Sketching.
but what about their kids? Are they
See, then that would be weird. That's what the kids mess it up.
Cousins.
The kids mess it up.
This exact scenario happened in my family way back.
Whoa, hey, we don't need to go there.
So, you know,
So it's possible.
no, my point is that it happened a lot. You know, people would marry their wife, their spouse would die, and they would marry the sibling. It was relatively common back then because, you know, you've got a lot in common.
And you're hanging out together all the time
You can make it
anyway.
work.
Well, one thing that I wanted to make sure we say before, we kind of touched on it
Yes.
recently. I really want to thank everybody for tuning in and for giving us your
yes.
feedback and your comments.
We love you.
Because we love to start the conversation, but then we love the way you keep it going.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
It is. It's been a pleasure.
And insightful and interesting,
yeah.
and they point out things that we forget to mention.
Well, yeah,
and-
which is great because, you know, again, we don't have a lot of time before we come up here and do this. So I
Yeah.
love that, you know, they've seen this and then they hear what we say and then they comment and what about this? And it's just it's a great conversation to have, and I'm very, very appreciative of it.
So the Christmas special airs on Christmas.
Yes.
We, like
Program
last
note.
season, we were not able to do it that day because
Yes.
a bunch of us were traveling. And so it'll probably be around the 30th, 31st.
We will
something like
definitely
that
do
we'll
one,
it.
and we'll tweet it out, and we'll let everybody know.
Watch AfterBuzz's Facebook page as well as Courtney's and Alina's and my Twitter accounts,
Yeah.
and we'll probably post something on the most recent YouTube comments as well.
Comment
So just
section, yeah.
you'll be able to find us. We promise.
So, any last thoughts?
That's it.
I'm gonna miss it. It's only 46 days.
Only 46 days.
And then we can relive it again with our American friends a couple
right.
days after that.
Where can
That's
they find
true.
you, Alina?
At Alina Akram, LA, on Twitter.
At Stuart Starlet.
At Tamara Berg on Twitter, and my website is tamaracentral.com. We're gonna miss you guys. Thank
We
you.
will.
Thank
And
you.
we will talk to you next time. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.